And hi, everybody. Welcome to Rick Snider's Washington on YouTube, where you get the whole story. So please like, shares, subscribe, comment, and hit the thanks button. And sorry, I had to restart the show, but I figured out what the problem was, especially last week, and we'll be back here. So as soon as people start loading in, I got a thumbs up, so somebody's here, even though I haven't seen it yet. LimeWire, you're first up. Steve, when you come on, I think I screwed you out of the first this time, but there it goes. So, programming notes, especially for those of you watching on replay. Um, hey, Steve, sorry I had to restart the browser. I figured out what was the matter. Um, but all right, my hair doesn't look like I'm a crazy person, but all right, it's the end of a long day. Sunday and Mondays are like a 36-hour of working. Okay, so next week, as we're doing programming notes, games next Monday. So I will be doing it Tuesday next week. There you go. Um, so much for that. As soon as I get done with this, I am done. I'm on vacation for the rest of the week, going to Vegas, having some fun, seeing a lot of different things, including the Eagles in the Sphere. And I come back next Sunday. No game Sunday, so I have until Monday. When they play against Cincinnati Bengals. So I'm kind of just uh, nearing retirement and doing something different, like going on vacation during football season, which I have never ever done. So thought I'd try something different. Kind of going to be a quiet week, I would think. Whatever. I'll be out in the desert. So I won't care. And hopefully I get to see some of the stuff. Yeah, going to Vegas shows live wire. We're doing Eagles one. We'll see what the others are. Woo! Nobody cares about my vacation. Just going straight to the questions. Will Senate be a bigger factor at some point this season? Alex, so far it's been a lot quieter than I might have guessed. So I think I wouldn't call it a redshirt year, but I wouldn't expect it a lot. Joel was asking, something's in the way here. I have a question. Do you think the Rick defense is going to get better? Well, I'm pretty defensive. I'm not sure what that means. Alex, okay, questions on the game and internet was saying to make a deal to build their stadium in DC. No stadium talk until next year because nothing's going to happen until then. They're waiting on this U.S. Senate, and you can imagine waiting on the U.S. Senate. It's a real pain in the butt. So put RFK whatever down on your list for next February. They got to get a spending bill through to continue the government, and that's going to take up all their time right now. And then they take a break in a couple of weeks for elections, and they're gone for like 6 weeks. So we're not going to see anything on the stadium. Overall opinion of the game, I think it became clear that this is going to be a running team, and part of that is because it's JD as a runner in some respects. He's been a little slower to recognize defenses than I would have thought. Not that he has played poorly, not at all. He's probably done the best of all the rookies so far, but it's going to take a little time. And yeah, I think he got a painful lesson about what these guys hit you like, when he was sitting on the ground for a while. That said, they ran a really great run call for him, and this is how they should do him. They called a running play the last drive, got him down to about 6, beautifully executed. And that's where he really thrives. So you want him to try and find more receivers and run less, but it's going to take a little time. And meanwhile, while he figures it out, he'll do what he does, which is run. Hickory, I'm glad you came. And I don't know. I don't have much kin left at Hickory now anymore to come by. LimeWire, thanks. So get a beer on Vegas. Beer is only $5 in Vegas. Great. Well, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, we've talked about JD5 so long that I agree that we're all expecting too much out of him. This defense is just not going to be good enough this year. They made Danny Dimes almost come alive again yesterday. I would not be surprised to see an interior defensive lineman traded by the deadline. Forbes is now out with that surgery on his hand. It basically is from like here, connects your thumb to your palm. and it's a painful one. I've read a lot up about it with surgeons. He's going to be out at least 4 weeks. If he comes back that or sooner, that's remarkable. I mean, things happen, but I don't think so. I think they're going to get to midseason, and then they're going to kind of say, you know, maybe maybe we don't need him quite as much. But yeah, they needed him yet. They could have used him yesterday, and that his replacements were no better. Um, okay, Abe, thanks. I'm not quite sure what that is, but I guess it'll come through. Thanks. Crush. Did I see that new memorial made? No, I did not. I was doing a couple of things around the stadium, including some fans that asked to meet me at a certain spot and then decided they were having too much fun at another spot and wasted my time because I wouldn't come to them. So forget that. If you ever ask me to come meet you at a spot, be there or else, I don't really like to do that too much. Man, you guys, I can tell they won. You guys got a lot of questions all of a sudden. Brian Robinson, Mike, yeah, he had a great day. I mean, he had a couple, I see he had 3 or 4 really great runs with showing agility through traffic, all that stuff. Um, so I'm getting messages here too. I was glad to see. I mean, this is the Brian Robinson we've been waiting for 2 years, and not all his fault. Last year's offense was ridiculous, and the year before he was shot at the beginning of the season. So I mean, it's kind of hard to ask of anything for him. But now it's time to ask, and he's showing some real toughness in delivering. I'm glad to see it. Uh, does he remind me of Alfred Morris, Joel? I think he's a tougher runner than Alfred. That's not to say anything bad about Alfred. But I think Brian's kind of reminds me a lot of Larry Brown more, just the way he is. NRG, Terry being almost non-existent. I tell you, he had 6 catches yesterday, so it's not like they didn't throw him the ball. But they throw it in places it's really hard to make a lot out of it. They're asking him to make chicken salad out of chicken feathers in some of these throws, in the spots he's in. He doesn't have room to make it, turn it into anything big. They're going to get him beat up too much, is what it looks like to me. Gosh, I think, did we say Terry turned 30? So, man, you wonder his career will be waiting for his team to get better. Hickory's seen the Giants play plotting football. They did. Um, it's just the Giants, there wasn't much there. Hey, Bob, glad you made it. Yesterday, 7 field goals. I've never seen that. Okay, Terry's 29. Okay, some of you're off. I've never seen 7 field. I mean, the good news is Washington scored on every drive, never punted. Bad news is never got a touchdown. I mean, that's really strange. But you know what? I know you could talk about, well, Gano and this and that. It was going to be a 3-point game. I don't care where we play all the scenarios. I saw it as a 3-point game and Washington winning, and that's how it worked out. But you got to love a new kicker showing up and kicking 7 field goals. None of them were real long. It was a 46. We asked him in the press conferences, how he's been training, go to a field. He goes, no, I live next to this big pine tree, and I just kick it right at that pine tree. It's like, okay, Forrest, thanks for that. That was kind of wild. That was a different answer, which I like. This new coaching staff, I got to tell you, says nothing, and they just talk in coach speak and all, and that's not a bad thing, and that's their job. But and I like Dan Quinn; he's a nice man. I don't get a whole lot out of listening to them because they just don't say much. It did work on a lot of red zone plays, Suzanne. I was at quite a few practices, and yes, they worked there a lot. They just didn't get it up yet. But it's only 2 games in. DC Dave, love a decisive making by Jaden. Yeah, I mean, he's been good. I mean, you look at the stats; they've been good. I hate to say, it's like if it sounds like if we have a disappointment in Jaden, it's like we're expecting Superman or something, and he hadn't been quite Superman, but he's been very good. He's been better than any rookie I've seen come out here in a while. He had a few more rushing yards after 2 games than Robert Griffin. So, he can play better, and hopefully he will. I think Jane could be their best quarterback since Joe Theismann. That's about 40 years ago. So no pressure, but and he's a chill guy, and I think he'll survive all of this fine, and I think he'll be barring an injury. I think he'll be a quarterback for him for quite a while. It's the guy you've been looking for. Now you got to get the rest of the team together. Um, Rivera didn't say a whole lot either. Well, most coaches don't, Wine Fox. That's just how it is anymore. Everybody knows how to play the game. Hickory Hound, the defense will come around. Let's hope so. I mean, they don't have the pass rush. Jamin Davis was inactive, and today Quinn said, well, we needed a fifth interior lineman to let Johnny Newton play some, and, that kind of thing. And I thought that's more important than having Davis, what's that tell you about Davis? Tells you that he's on the way out of here. There's a bus leaving in 10 minutes. I mean, I guess they play him the rest of the season or keep him. I don't know how much you could get for him in a trade, but he is in the last year of a contract. So they just showed that they don't care. ZZ, better French fries, Jerry's subs or Roy's? Been a long time since I've had a Jerry sub or Roy's, but I'll say Roy's. Scotty, do you think the defense improves significantly? No, I think they are what they are. They could be a little better, but teams will get better too. Got to remember that. Yeah, your defense will grow up some, but so will your offense on the other side. Todd, I like Roy Rogers. Okay. We have a Roy's down here too. I met Roy Rogers at an opening of a Roy Rogers in 1978 or 9. I think it was 79. Still the Roy Rogers there. So I got to meet Roy. I cannot find the picture together. I wish I could. I know we had a picture taken. Not me and a million other people, but he met everybody there, shook your hand. It was kind of cool. Could they have doubled neighbors? Well, I don't think so. I don't think they had the people out there, Wine Fox. We might not be good till 27 or 28. Correct, Gregory. I mean, that's the kind of timing. Bryce, if a trade is done for Forbes, what can we give him? Let's put it this way. On his resume, what would you offer him? Yeah, for a first-round pick? You hate to trade a first-round pick for a 6th or 7th, Prediction for the Bengals game, Steve. All right, here we go. And there's Steve Spivey, my old friend behind you. I'm picking the Bengals to win big and scoring a lot. Oh, no, everybody hates me. Well, I'm just telling you what I think. I'm 2-0 so far, and I've also hit both over-unders. So barely got it. I took under 42 that last game, and they got it. One more field goal would have tied me. It's easy. It often goes, okay, so we're going to talk about Royce tonight? Okay. I mean, we have a Jerry's near me, but I haven't been there in quite a while. I stopped for a while I get a sub. Still worried about having Jaden run so much, Mike. I agree with you there. I mean, I think he's running a little bit too much, but I think he'll run less as time goes because they'll see the defense is better and it'll set up more for the passing game. They have not broken open the passing game deep yet. Too many screens. What is that about? I don't quite get that. Alexander, yeah, I just talked about Jamin. They decided to go with the 5-man interior line rather than, so he had to take out a defensive end. Sanders still has not played nearly as well at DC Dave as I expected him to. They've been picking on him. Suzanne, patient with Jaden and even the offense, but missed tackles, veterans making stupid penalties. Yeah. It's chemistry. When you change 60% of your team, it's going to take a while for chemistry. It's going to take the whole year. I hate to say it. I mean, you don't want to have 10 penalties a game, but it's going to take all year to get this to work right. So, hang in there on that. The anti-vaxxer, naming quarterbacks are overhyped. I think Campbell did okay. Campbell was a decent quarterback. That whole group, sorry, I tell you, a lot of days working football. Hal started out okay for that year. I haven't kept up with him in Seattle yet. Todd, do you think Jade needs to learn how to slide? Yeah, absolutely. It's hard. I've seen a lot of quarterbacks. Look at Tua. Tua ran head first into the guy and got a concussion that may lead his exit. He didn't slide. He ran head first. That was dumb. Do you know why RG3 pulled the plug on not doing his tall book? Scotty, I think either two things happened. Either the team got to him and said, don't do it, for whatever they could have offered, or the lawyers or the publisher said, "Hey, we can't run this unless you substantiate things because we don't want to get sued." I think that's one of the two things that could have happened, or maybe he just thought it's a lot of work and I don't want to do it because I've done. Am I doing 10 books now? Something like that. They're a lot of work and not a lot of money. Let's see. DC Dave, we saw things we haven't seen in a long time, like second half adjustments. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, they hung in there. I didn't think it was the best called game, but it was okay. Everything was okay. You know, there was a little really good and there was a little really bad. Damn shame they didn't get that kickoff for a touchdown, because you don't get many chances like that. I know they've been working on, I couldn't talk about anything I've seen, but they've been working on blocking schemes and stuff, all through the offseason. This special teams coach took it seriously. And I wasn't surprised that they, were able to crank one out like that. In a few more weeks, everybody is going to see so much film, you won't be able to do these things as much. But they had a chance, and a stupid penalty cost them 7-0. How would that have changed the game? Charles, what do I think about the secondary? St. Juice, I thought had a decent game, but he stripped the ball. It was decent for him. Davis didn't play very well. I thought it was kind of a media. They had some busted coverage plays again. They let that big rookie receiver run them. So I didn't give him a good grade at all. Do I think I'll change the kickoff rule? I don't know, Alexander. I think they'll wait till the end of the season and just kind of see how it all shook out. Gregory, does Quinn have time till 27 or 28 to fix this mess? Okay, so it's another 3 years. If he's not winning by 27, then he's probably gone. Sometimes I think you have to have a guy to get to the next guy, when you're in a bad situation like they were. But maybe if he can hang in there, there's a chance, but that's asking a lot. It's a lot of years on there. Best spot in Vegas, Antoinette? Well, I'll tell you next week's show how I did. I've been to Vegas a few times. I used to work with bookmakers way back in the day, and lines makers, I should say. So I've known a lot of people in Vegas. So I'm looking forward to seeing the Sphere, especially. But I'm actually going to a couple of national parks in the area and Hoover Dam. And I'm not, if somebody is, I'm not 18 and getting drunk and all that on the strip so much. I'm their grandfather. So I enjoy different things. The strip is okay. I want to go see Pawn Stars. That show came on like right after the last time I was in Vegas. So I hear it's overrated. It's a small place. I hear all that, but still, I want to go see it. I'd be kind of nice to see Chumley and Rick. So let's see, DC Dave, do you think B Rob can build to have enough gas for an 80 yarder? He's not quite that quick. Maybe if he knocks a couple of guys down on the 30 and keeps going. All right, it's a nice solid back. Charles, do you have a chance against the Bengals? So, about every 15 minutes, it's a different crowd watching the show. So if you're one of the few people like Steve and such that hang in there the whole show, you think, oh, we already talked about this. But most people go about 15-minute cycles. So having said that, hit the thumbs up button for me while you're here watching. It helps the algorithm. And if you want to hit the $ down the bottom to send me to Vegas with some money, I always appreciate that. $2, $5, whatever. I don't know. I don't play a lot of gambling, but I will a little. Going to Vegas in the old days, you went because you could bet on sports. You could, casinos, all that. You can do that on your cell phone now. So that's really taken away a lot of Vegas's steam in a way. I saw there was a big story locally about, legalized sports betting hasn't slowed down the black market. I can answer that question. Why? It's because the black market books and all, they play on credit, whereas the casino sports books or all these things, they don't. So you can't run up a big debt and all that kind of stuff. Mike, I don't think they'd let me do a Pawn Stars live shot. In fact, I've read they don't. So, but I might do one outside. We'll see. Well, I'll pop up. I do have videos left for all week, every day, something. So I've already filmed them all. And, but if there's something decent, I'll pop up. I'll do something. Surprised McCaffrey hasn't got more time, says Bob. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you there. I thought McCaffrey would get more, but they're still trying to find out this passing game and receivers, and I think they're going to run more. Todd, I'm not old. I'm not. I know who the Rat Pack were, but I was not old enough to see them. I mean, I guess I could have, but I wasn't a big Sinatra fan like that. I was a rock and roll kid back then. Is Tech V is Xavier Howard available? I don't know. I love these comments I read online about we need to sign a lockdown corner. Is there a lockdown corner out there? Be serious. If there, there isn't. There isn't. There's spare parts out there. That's what's left. So there isn't somebody that's going to be like, oh Lord, this will solve all our problems. Not happening. Do you think getting a wide receiver at trade deadline? No, Greg. I think there's going to be more sellers than buyers. Brandon, thanks. I appreciate the thoughts. Victory Monday, yeah. I used to have a gig where when they were really bad, local pizza place used to give you free toppings for every touchdown. And they were so bad, I call it Crust Monday because you got no toppings, just ate the cheese. Today was a Crust Monday because they didn't score any touchdowns, even with the win. So how weird is that? So to have your fun with your cheese pizza. If they still do that promo, I don't even have to do it anymore. Frank, how many combined starts would Driscoll and Mariota have this year? I don't think Mariota plays this year. He's got a torn pec, and he's on the IR right now. But I don't know. I don't think he's going to play this year. Torn pecs are rough, especially for a passer. So I don't expect that. Driscoll, maybe one or something. Let's just figure JD last. Driscoll got in the game for one handoff yesterday. And I thought Driscoll, I talked about it a lot, keep him for trade bait. But now he's your number 2. Sam Hartman's now active as the 3, but you can't trade Sam for anything. Injuries around the league will have people come knock on your door for stuff. Frank, how many? Okay, so that was Frank's questions. There you go. Or maybe it was. Somebody else has something. All right, Wine Fox, rock and roll, hoochie coo, Rick. Yeah, I used to have hair and everything, man. Bob, just an FYI, the Chumley, Rick, and Corey were rarely at the store. Yeah, that's what I heard. I just want to go in and see it. I hear it's small. I heard it's like 15 minutes, maybe. That's fine. I got other things to do too. Alexander, wasn't a pizza deal at Papa John's? Yeah, I think it was. There was $1 off every time they scored a touchdown. And that's true. And they went up to the Meadowlands and they scored 7 touchdowns. Remember, they scored 52 points. And I remember the next day, pizza was free because back then you could get a pizza for $7. So they changed it to toppings after that happened. Where and how do you think the coaching needs to improve? Oh, Scotty, that's a show of its own. That's a show of its own. I'd have to see it for a while. So sorry, Matt. Okay, glad you got your books. I'm not pumping books tonight just because I'm leaving in the morning and I can't mail any for a week, and I'd rather not. So maybe next Monday I'll beg people to buy my book. And I don't want you to buy it on Amazon because I don't make hardly any money there. I only tell you to buy on Amazon if you're not comfortable with somebody stealing your money and never sending you a book, which isn't me, but whatever. I get the paranoia. It is, wow, only halfway through this show. So if you want to hit the $ there, send Rick to Vegas. That's always nice. Last week, I did the fundraiser. We ended up raising $120 for No Kid Hungry, and that provides over 1,000 meals for kids. So thank you all for that. I passed your money on to them. Didn't keep any of it. It's great. I think you provided 1,000 meals for kids. How they do 1,000 meals, I don't know. That kind of money, but great. We'll do it again, especially getting near Thanksgiving. So I do appreciate it. Appreciate people doing that. But if you want to throw some money to me to say, Rick, you've been working hard. Your eyes look awful tired. Here's $5. You can go to Vegas and pull a slot machine. But I don't want you to go out of your way. I don't want to be a whore anymore. So whatever. Hit the thumbs up button if nothing else. If you can't do that, go watch the TV. And what happened to the 1% Club? It's not on tonight. What is that about? I got knocked out last week at 15%. And I knew that, yeah, bummer. Where can you ceremony of the new stadium naming, Greg? I don't. They had a presser beforehand. I didn't bother going. What do I care about a bank? You know, so I didn't bother. But I know they had it. So it's probably on commanders.com. I'm sure they've got it there. So all the new signs. They did a lot of uh, Northwest Stadium signs everywhere. Spent a lot of money on that. So I don't know how much they got for the naming rights either, but they definitely branded all around the stadium. Matt, Jaden had his helmet on tighter. Yeah, it didn't come off. Nothing else. Mike H, President's Reports. Yep, that's my book. We'll do it again next week. Where did you get the cross hat? Oh, Bob. You can just Google it. People saw them online all the time, which I do wear. I don't have it with me at the moment, but I do like it. Okay, Steve. Steve was my best man at my wedding many years ago. He's really old now, but glad you stopped by, Steve. I'm only a few hundred miles from you if you want to drive down this week. Oh, yeah. Maybe the quarters ran out of the TV you're watching it on. Patrick, is there a rule about going out of bounds and being the first to touch the ball? Yes. Uh, I don't know if Jim was out of bounds on that one or not. Couldn't see. Oh, it was a miserable day in the press box yesterday. The speaker didn't work, so we couldn't hear about what calls were going on, what things were. The internet wasn't working very well, so it was like old school days. But unfortunately, we're a good ways from the field, so it's not as easy to see some things as you might think. And I don't really have a TV near me to see, so use my binoculars. Just Moody, thank you so much. My eyes do look tired, don't they? Okay, maybe it's just age. Pat, okay, I got that. Todd, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Man, I'm going to have tipping money out there. You got to have tip money in Vegas. I've been teaching my 9-year-old grandson how to, pass money in a handshake kind of thing. And when he does chores or stuff, I pay him that way. That way he doesn't show it to his sister and have her yell at me about why don't she get something. So self-preservation. Anyway, and Suzanne, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Patrick, no worries. Harrison Company needs to address the press box. Well, I guess we're on their list, but probably down a little bit. They did paint. They did do some painting in the press box. And I do appreciate everyone chipping in because hey, this is the new world of new media. Media is going away in a lot of respects. Their jobs are gone. So I'm semi-retiring here. So soon I got this season. We'll talk later about that. But so enjoy the season. William, first post Snider victory. Is it really? No. Yeah, they had last season with the 4 wins. Yeah. So William, let's see. Okay, thanks. All right, so just Moody, any changes to the food? No, not really. A little bit. It's a little nicer. I don't like to complain about free food because if you don't like it, you don't have to eat it. So one thing I'm not is ungrateful. Mike, thanks so much. $10. Put it on the roulette wheel number 32. Okay. I thought you were going to tell me if I could bet on black or red. That seems safer. Don't they pay like 60 to 1 or something on roulette wheels? I've never played. Walk by it a lot. But okay. Or can I put it on anything I want? I don't know. It's probably like a Big Mac. I don't gamble a whole lot because I know the truth about it. You don't win very much. But I will say in my many trips to Vegas that I am up a few dollars over the years because I had one good time once. But I'm not up much. That's probably for sure. But I'm going to look at the new sports books, but we have them here now. So, everything they have there, we now have here. And I don't go to the ones here, because I don't like gambling money because it's hard to do it. I like betting on horses. I used to cover horse racing for 5 years. I'm way ahead there because I knew how to bet on horses. I don't know. I'm getting old and holding on to my money best I can because I know the world's out to cheat you. I'm in the stock market game, which is going quite well. If you're young and I can tell you, T. Rowe Price great company to put money into for a 401k. They've done fabulous for me. And the market's cranking up. Yes, it will go down some, but it went up today to a record high. I mean, things, we'll see what happens Wednesday with the Fed doing the interest rates. Who am I talking about this stuff? But I had to learn it to, if you don't learn how to protect your money financially, it will be taken from you. Guarantee it. I never made a lot of money, but I knew how to invest well and protect well. And that's my suggestion to you. T. Rowe Price, great company. If you're young, put your money in all you can because it will work. Stock market always grows money. Yeah, you have bad days, but but if you don't learn how to take care of your money, you'll be like a ball player. Look at these ball players. Okay, you're 22, you got millions of dollars. How does it disappear like it does? Because you're 22 and you don't have any experience holding on to money. And meanwhile, there's a lot of people out there that want it. So you got to learn to protect yourself. I would tell every ball player to major in finance somehow. Some kind of a money thing. Try and protect your money. The smart guys know how. William, so much Snider stink lingering. Yeah, they're still out, and it's still the stadiums. It's the whole problem. Larry, why are kickers always the MVP every week? Yeah, kind of funny, isn't it? Well, Trust didn't even play this time. He just sat there and watched the game. Dave, the Caps' 50th anniversary celebration sound great. Yeah, I was sitting there thinking all day, what do you mean 50 years? I thought, wow, yeah, it's been 50 years. I think the Bullets came the year before and the Caps came. I remember how awful they were that first year. I think they won 7 or 9 games, and they had Bugsy Watson, who was the big enforcer. And he has a restaurant in Alexandria, a good pizza sports bar place. And I went by there the other day. I took a tour group over for pizza after the tour in Alexandria. And it was great. I mean, Bugsy passed away a year or two ago. But the pizza, this legacy he had, man, pizza was awesome there. I put pictures up a while ago. It was great. Mike, that was sportsbook at Charlestown. See, there you go, Charlestown, which for me is like an hour and a half or 2 hours. I'm not quite sure how far it is. Been a while since I've driven to Charlestown. Any Caps memories? Todd, I actually covered the Caps one season. I was part-time on the Caps, part-time on the Wiz. They took me out of horses. I spent that year, and then I went to the Redskins. And I liked covering the Caps. I knew nothing about hockey, really at all, because growing up in Washington, we didn't have it and never played it. And big guys don't wander around on thin ice around here. So it doesn't get that cold here anymore anyway for things to freeze over. So I didn't know anything about it, but I enjoyed it. And the guys were cool. Give them that. I just remember you'd see guys in the locker room, and their bodies just had these huge welts and bruises on them from all the times I guess they got hit with the puck and all. Man, these guys are tough. They were tougher than I thought they were. Ally Afraidy was one of my favorites. He was nuts. He used to light cigarettes with blowtorches in there. And the first Russian player that came, I forget what his name was, but the teammates, they taught him how to say hamburger because he just come from Russia, and before they were allowed to, he had to smuggle out. So his teammates taught him to say hamburger so he would always be able to order something to eat. But then they taught him some really bad words to say to women, like, he thought he was saying like, "Hey, baby, how you doing?" Instead, they thought it would be funny to have him, say some pretty vulgar stuff. He gets slapped a lot, and they'd laugh about it. And he's wondering what's going on. So stuff like that happened. Well, Tress held for all the kicks. You're right, William. I'm sorry. He got his 7 plays in. Gregory, good week. Dallas lost. Yeah, boy, I saw that. Maybe it's New Orleans for real. I hear, Chase is playing decent there. Mike, saw some concerts at Capitol Center. Yeah, I did too. Saw quite a few. Saw the Eagles there. So I'm seeing the Eagles again. Gosh, I've seen the Eagles like I was 70s when I used to see a lot. Yeah, all the great ones that you mentioned. Let's see, Tech. What team are you surprised it's 0-2? I guess Cincinnati, but they had 2 tough games. DC Dave, glad Tress got a break. Yeah, he's getting old. He doesn't have to kick all the time now. There. All right, 8:36. Still hit the thumbs up button if you just came to the show. We do have more people watch the show on replay than watch live, believe it or not, by a good margin. So if you did, Please like, share, subscribe, hit those things, hit those buttons. They're free on there. I always appreciate it. I will be back next Tuesday with the show because game's Monday, and I'm not going to do the game with you guys live. Too distracting for that. And after being in Vegas all week, we'll see if I can stay awake on Monday. Yeah, that'll be a challenge. Only bad thing will help is I'll be used to 3 hours behind time. That's the hardest part, going 3 hours back. You wake up out west, it's like 5 a.m. There's nothing open, and you're starving because it's 8 a.m. Eastern. So that's one of the weird parts about it. I used to fly out west for games a lot. I don't fly much. This is going to be my first flight in 5 years. You're looking at somebody who used to fly like 75 times a year. And, it's just weird. I've been doing all the stuff on the cell phone, checking in now. I was like, this is really nice on it. So it'd be interesting to be back in the air. And with my wife retired and I'm creeping there, going to do a lot of traveling the next year or two, trying to get there before we get too old to be able to do these trips. I know we're not going to walk the strip like we used to, because we used to hit strip 14 hours a day when we were young. I don't think I can quite do that anymore. I might need a nap in the middle or something. We'll see. You know how it is in Vegas. They don't put clocks on the wall for a reason. Tech, go to the pinball museum. I saw a thing about pinball museum. If you go on like TripAdvisor, the reviews were outrageously bad about how the owner is just an awful person screaming at you and machines are broken. And I don't know what the truth is. I was going to go, but man, all those reviews that made me say, pass on that. I don't know. Have you been there? Let me know. Mike, thanks so much. I appreciate it. On black. Okay. I feel comfortable voting, getting a 50-50 shot on black or red. Trying to pick a number. Good luck with that. Hi, Daniel. Good to see you back. Yeah, you probably see a picture of me standing on the strip where it says "Welcome to Vegas." I've done that before. I'd be interested to see. I haven't been to Vegas in about 15 years, and I used to be able to get around it really easy. It was an easy time. Now I have a feeling it's going to be tougher. But the great part is it's been 100 degrees plus, and it's breaking today out there. And while I'm out there all week, it's going to be like in the 80s. They don't have any humidity, so. And then right when I'm leaving, it goes back to like 95. So it's like they said, Rick, come on out. We'll make it a little easier for you. I kind of hated to leave DC. The weather is gorgeous lately. This has been the nicest stretch of weather in a long time. And it's going to be keep going for a little while. DC Dave, what's the prediction on Obi breaking the goal record? I was talking to somebody today about that. I think it's still next year, unless they just go all out to do it this year. Obi's starting to get old, but maybe they want to try and accelerate, but that would be to the team's detriment. I don't think Ovi would do that. Greg, where would you spend the most money next off season? Probably at receiver. I think they draft an offensive tackle. So I would go probably more receiver and maybe a corner there. Okay, Slam and Jammin's here. Okay. Oh, good. Yeah, this is my first vacation in years. I mean, that I'm actually going somewhere in 5 years. Been to a couple of things I've driven to. Spent a few days at a cabin in Massanutten, Virginia, wherever that is. Kind of near James Madison, which I drove by to see. But I haven't been out in a while. But going to Hawaii next year, might go to New Zealand. Since you're in Hawaii, you're halfway there. Might as well. I'd like to do that. Europe and Iowa. Believe it or not, I might be going to Iowa. I have 5 states to go to be to all 50. And if I do Hawaii and I do Iowa and Nebraska because they're by each other, that'll give me 3. 2 left. Can you guess what my 2 are left? Alaska, 1. Anyway, you want to guess what the other one is? It's just stupid. I've never been there. DC Day wants to go to Ireland. I have been all through Ireland. It's pretty awesome. People are nice. Love Belfast. Very interesting place. I had the troubles, and there's still a lot of wild stuff that goes on in a way. And then people are nice. I've been all through Ireland. I went on to a pub on the Irish Sea that was owned by a guy who had retired from being a Long Island fireman and wanted to come to Ireland, open a bar. We had a hell of a great time in that place. It was just like a local bar, and we got to go. Awesome. Yeah, Ireland's a really nice place, and the food's not so bad, but I do like potatoes over there. So I think we had mashed potatoes and whole potatoes along with like a burger or something. Your sides are all potatoes on there. The state of confusion. That's a good one, Techie. Um, Clayton asked if I've been to Italy. Yeah, been to Italy once. Saw Rome to Venice to the Lake District to Florence and to Rome. Saw the highlights of everything. It was great. I'd go back again. Might go back next year. Might want to ride the trains around Europe a little bit. Might as well go. While I still have some money and still have my legs with me and can go do these trips. Uh, Ricky Sanders to James Madison. That sounds familiar, Mike. But I wouldn't swear by it on there. Oh, somebody just hit the thanks button. Thanks. Um, Thanks button doesn't cost you anything. The algorithm rewards me on this. We're going to be doing the show a little differently after this season. More food and more. I got a food one. Got a pizza review coming Tuesday night. Yeah, I left that there for you. I went to Costco and ate pizza. It's okay. Wasn't my favorite. But I'm going to be doing more food, some travel, local, more, tour guide stuff, things like that, and less commanders. I know you don't want to hear that, but I've been doing this for 46 years. Next year will be my 47th. I'm still working some, and we'll go into that end of the year. So enjoy the season. That's what I'm doing. What we got? 15 minutes to go. Okay. All right. Still doing the money drive for me to bet on lose my money in Vegas. I'd rather lose your money in Vegas. So if you can throw $5 in the pot and help me buy some chips, do appreciate it. I'm not a big poker player. I know how to play poker and I play it, but I'd probably lose my money in 2 seconds out there. Food videos from Vegas, Antoinette. If I see something interesting, I'm going to do it. We'll just see what happens. Steve wants me and my grandson Oliver cooking pizza. We're getting there. Oliver's learning how to do a lot of food stuff. It's a way he loves YouTube, and it's a way to get him to try new food because he's so picky. Like most kids are picky. I was picky. I eat stuff today I would have never thought I'd eat as a kid, like fish. I never ate fish as a kid. Now I eat all kinds of seafood. When you get older, that kind of stuff. I kind of miss scrapple. If any of you know what that is, any of you are from the South or even Pennsylvania, Ohio, scrapples. Who knows what? When I was in Scotland, they have the haggis, and they talk about it. No different in scrapple. Wasn't that big a deal. But I did have a cherry tomato challenge with my granddaughters all day. Get your flying done for winter. Yeah. Hey, I see all these nightmares on TV. But if I go to Hawaii, I'd like to go like in February, March when it's cold here and it's 80 there. That's what I want. Spitones in Fauquier County. Man, I know where Fauquier County is because my mom lives out there. That's a long ways, Dave. John, you should have me on once a week, Mike. Yeah, I go on when they ask me to come on. It's here and there. Daniel, all right, there's a fellow scrapple lover. The difference is I now eat the turkey scrapple because I don't want to say it's healthy, but it's healthier than the other stuff. That's one of my things in the next year is to try and get my health up even better. It's good now after some dark days in recent year, but I'm doing much better now and want to enjoy that time. And the only way to do it is to buck up and do better. DC Dave loves scrapple too. Yeah. And deer meat. Oh, sure. I've had deer meat. Matter of fact, the night before my wedding, we had the big, you had the pre-wedding reception the night before. Family didn't have much money. My brother had shot a deer, so we cut up the deer, and that's what we had for the, the dinner the night before the wedding, back in 1980. But yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm having a new cookbook come back out. Where is that thing? Here it is. Hold on. I regained rights to my old cookbook. You can get a copy of this on Amazon. They got a few used copies there, but There it is, my name on the bottom. See, I actually cooked in a restaurant when I was younger. I have a chef certificate. I've written here to cook. So I got rights back to it, and so I'm going to update this book next year as something I'm doing with my free time. I'll have. So it's coming. It's got all kind of unusual things, to cook outside. So I'm going to add a griddle to it too. I've not had mystery meat pudding, Clayton. I don't know what that is. Beef and turkey scrapple, Antoinette. There you go. Antoinette, are you doing better? Antoinette, many you don't know, fell and broke her arm. So I want to hear that you're doing better on that, because that sucks. Text another scrapple eater. Oh, you guys, you guys are bad. But I've had the heart attack at 42, massive heart attack. So I had to quit eating a lot. And it's weird. After a heart attack, I didn't have a taste for red meat like I used to. You can tell we're out of commander's questions. We're talking about food. But yeah, it kind of made me rewired me on food. Okay, suggest meeting 112. Okay. Okay, I appreciate it. Well, next spring, it'll probably be out for grilling season. I have some big projects I'm working on. I got a play that's I'm trying to get it into production. We'll see. Play about it's called a sermon writer. It's doing some stuff. I'm giving a sermon in about 2-3 weeks. Great. I'm coming back from Vegas. I can tell them what I saw in Sin City, but doing some more with the church and stuff like that. You get older, you do different things. I've seen a lot of. I was trying to think how many Commanders games I've seen, Redskin games. Not sure, but it's a good 500, over the years. So I'm okay to look at something else too. DC Day prefers cooking outside. Everybody does. I don't necessarily want to catch my food and cook on site, but that's a real caveman for you. All right. Again, Mike H wants it. Yeah, I mean, I wrote this on it's funny. I wrote this on a dare with John Kime, because John and I wrote a couple books together real long time ago. You want to see him? Hold on a second. Oh, okay. Okay. So Kyle and I and a couple other guys, we wrote Hailed RFK. We sold this when RFK was closing. Sold a bazillion of them. Did really great. And then Kyle and I and other people, Dave, we wrote America's Rivalry. That still got it in the cellophane here. A few of them. It was all the great games between the Cowboys and Redskins, and sold quite a few of these too. So we're kind of cocky with success, and said, cookbooks, where are they? Anybody can write a cookbook, So I came up with this idea. I pitched it to a publisher, and damn if he didn't buy it, and I had to write the book. I hadn't even written a word. So I do 100 recipes of all this stuff. And I just came up with the caveman idea. And there you go. There's like rabbit stew and barbecued squirrel, but they're not all crazy stuff. I will say one thing I'll tell you. If you ever put a banana on the grill, get ready, man. It's got so much, banana. It's the most banana thing you'll ever eat on there. So these are, I'm going to do the caveman book in the spring and have it out. Gregory, go to Germany. I've been to Germany once, but just briefly for a day in a small city off the Baltic Sea. Did a Baltic Sea cruise. That's an awesome cruise. If you're looking for something new, Baltic Sea leaves out of Copenhagen on Norwegian, I think it is, cruise lines. And we did a bunch of places like Stockholm and Finland and Germany, Poland. We back then went into Russia, and everybody likes Americans. Everybody speaks English. They all want your dollars because they're all afraid of the Russians. Even the Russians are afraid of the Russians. So it was a good cruise to go to. In the summer, it's nice and cool up there. So that was pretty awesome. I've not been to France, just Moody, but that's where we're going to start, in Paris. One. Thoughts on the Nats rebuild? Hey, I think it's going okay. I mean, I wish they won a couple more games this year, but I think they've sorted out a lot. They got some young players come along. I'm more of a baseball fan than anything. That's what my game was when I played as a kid. I was a mediocre, bench warming outfielder, but I love the game. My dad played in the minors with the Yankees. I didn't get his 6'5" build, but I think the Nats are on the way back. Maybe another 2 years. Hickory, I hope we get at least some better uniforms. Well, no, you didn't like the mustard pants or whatever they were. Um, who knows? Maybe if they go back to being the Redskins, but they're not. They're not. But then again, the day Joe Gibbs came back for the second time, I said to myself, never say never again, because I'd have put anything up about Joe Gibbs not coming back to coach for Dan Snyder. I would have put anything up. So you just never know. Would Davis play Monday night, Antoinette? If I had to guess, I'd say yes, but that's incumbent upon Johnny Newton playing more too. It's kind of weird. They want to see Johnny Newton more. They want to see Jamin Davis. So they had to get a second guy to come in with Johnny Newton to split reps because Johnny wasn't ready for a full game rotation. So hopefully he's better, and they won't have to use that extra guy, and then Jamin will play. Hickory, the uniforms look like a cheap knockoff. I hadn't really looked at them that hard. I guess you guys look at this stuff harder than I do on it. I just watch the game. And if I can read the names and numbers on the backs, I'm happy. Look like the USC Trojans. I could see that on there. They screwed up the burgundy one year. This was Vince Lombardi's time. Gather around the fire. I'll tell you a story. So Vince Lombardi comes in '69. The team had been using this uniform company for years. But Vince had a brother-in-law who sold sporting good apparel stuff and all. So he gave him the business. These things show up literally the night before the season starts, and the color's off on the burgundy. But they didn't have time to do anything about it because the season's starting in hours from now. So they had to go with it and kind of screwed up some things. So there you go. Don't give business to relatives. So Gregory said the Jacksonville thing is actually going to happen. They're going to build a stadium. It's my least favorite road trip, going to Jacksonville. It just wasn't much to do there. The beach is a good ways from the stadium. Check. Watching the Commanders is bad for your heart. Nah, I'm kind of young. I'm numb to all that, man. Hickory, get the multi-stripes back. Number font is horrible. Looks like a prison number. Well, I wouldn't know about prison numbers. I've managed to stay out so far. Knock on wood. Mike, good. Another baseball guy with me. Got a few minutes left. Anybody wants to throw the last few bucks in the till before we go down and play blackjack? If I win a lot of money, I'm not sharing it with you. I'm going to keep it. But I kind of doubt any of that happens. Vegas, they don't build them castles out of losing. They build it out of winning. But, I used once in a while I play a slot machine, but I like slot machines that I can tell if I've won or not. Now with all the space alien stuff on it, is it red, white, and blue sevens? I one time was in Vegas. I get a red, a white, and a blue 7 across. The thing's going wild. It was to win a Corvette on top of the slots. And they came over and they said, listen, you want some money, but you don't have them in red, white, and blue order. You have them like blue, white, red. Kiss my butt. So I didn't get the car. I'd have driven that thing home. That's how crazy things there go. They don't want you to win. They just want you to think you can win. Todd, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Yeah, I haven't had a good vacation like this in 5 years. So we used to travel all the time, and then COVID happened and all that. So got to wear a mask on the plane. My wife says that, that's just how it is. Okay. Now you can have your cell phone on during the plane, I see. You pay $8 to get wireless. I kind of liked hiding on planes back in the day when I was a beat guy and all. Nobody could bug me, especially the office. So I don't know. I'll bring a book and we'll just see how it goes. My wife wants the window seat, so I have to have the middle seat. But my old training, I booked the exit aisle, so you don't have anything right in front of you. So it's got a lot more leg room, and I've done that. That's a good trick. Book the exit aisles. They're worth it. If you have to sit and coach. We go to Hawaii. I got a ton of miles sitting there that's a first class trip. That'd be my First time in first class in a long time. It was funny when I was in Denmark, they had to bump me on the plane because they had to get different plane and they had a different seating chart. And they said, "Well, don't worry, you're going to sit up front." And I thought, "All right, whatever." Well, I was sitting in first class from Copenhagen to Iceland. That was sweet. That was a good one. Brandon, how concerned are you about the penalties? They'll clean themselves up. I mean, a lot of them are pre-snap stuff. They'll get it down. It won't be like 10 every week. If it is, it's going to be a hell of a year. But I think they'll get down to a manageable number. It's just a bad game. What college does Sonny go to, Antoinette? Duke. So the Dookie. I still like him anyway. But MGM at National Harbor makes Vegas not as special. Yeah, but once you've seen Vegas, any other casino doesn't match up as well. I live kind of near MGM. Been there a few times. Never won any money. Yeah, that's one of those places that keeps it. Been there for a couple shows and stuff. I haven't been there in a while. Food there is way out of my price range, but there's McDonald's down the hill, so you can go there. Hickory, ever notice that the best teams have the nicest uniforms and usually win? Didn't really notice that, but okay. Hey, listen, if the Commanders win 10 straight, you'll like these uniforms too. I don't like black as a uniform, though. Sorry. Hopefully I won't get any crazy Karens on my flight. Yeah, I hope not. Just sit down. Don't do anything nuts. DC Dave, thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're on at the end of the hour. How you like that? That was fast. It's always fast. I enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate you coming to everything. And I'm not even missing a show since I worked it out. And so Tuesday night next week, leaving videos during the day. So mostly food and tourism, but there's still a couple Commanders ones I did. So there's some stuff. So make sure you still come back to YouTube and wherever you're from. 6 a.m.s, they're all set there, ready to go. If I post anything elsewhere, well, I'm going to be on Vegas time. It's going to be more like 9 or 10 before I post in the East. But there's the YouTube stuff's already preset. Clayton, thanks for coming. And Hickory, thank you for that. To everybody in Hickory, I said hi. And Antoinette, thanks so much. Antoinette, is your arm better? You didn't tell me. I'm hoping that your arm is better. Better not be worse on that. And thank you, Brandon. Appreciate it. Everything. So if you came in late, you want to see the whole show, don't worry. YouTube recycles it in a few minutes. So you'll be able to see the whole show. Thanks for all that. And the Nats are 1-0. Okay. Barely beat the worst team. I know, Mike, but take the win and just enjoy it. It's better, would you rather lost to the worst team? Falcons? Well, they're not a bad team. I think, who are they playing this week? I was trying to do the advance on picking. My Saturday morning picks have a winning record, not greatly, but I've lost like 5 half-point games in 2 weeks. That sucks. Just beat me already. It's getting better. It's still painful, huh? Wow. All right. Well, that's what they make whiskey for, Antoinette. I'll just say that. All right. So we're out of here. Yep. I still got the bell. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll run into Andy Reid. Who knows? I'm leaving Vegas just as they're getting ready to kick off a Raiders game on Sunday. I thought about staying, but then I couldn't get back here time for Monday's game or whatever. So I just decided to come on home. Otherwise, I'd have gone to the Raiders game just to see the place on it. And okay, so we're done. I'm Rick Snider for Rick Snider's Washington. Thank you all for coming, and I'll see you again soon. See you next week.